Hello, I'm Elena. Let's talk about something many couples feel but are afraid to admit. You look at the person you've built a life with, and you realize you feel more like roommates than lovers. You're a great team. You manage finances, schedules, and household chores. You co-parent beautifully. You're friends. But the spark, that romantic, passionate connection that once defined you, has faded. The conversations are practical, not personal. The touches are habitual, not heartfelt, and in the quiet moments a sense of loneliness and sadness can creep in. You start to wonder, is this all there is? Many of the couples I advise come to me feeling exactly this way. They feel guilty, as if they've failed somehow. But I want to tell you, this is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that your relationship has become a victim of life's entropy, the natural tendency for things to become less ordered over time. Love isn't enough. Connection must be intentional. In this video, we're going to create that intention. We will walk through a complete, step-by-step guide to gently move out of the roommate phase and back into a vibrant, loving partnership. We'll identify why this happens and learn practical, daily strategies to rebuild emotional intimacy and, yes, rekindle that spark you miss so much. Understanding the why, the campfire analogy. First, let's release the guilt by understanding why this happens. Imagine your relationship is a campfire. In the beginning, the flames are roaring. There's intense heat, light, and excitement. It's exhilarating. But a fire, no matter how strong it starts, requires tending. Life starts throwing things on your fire that don't burn well. A mortgage, demanding careers, the beautiful, wonderful and exhausting reality of children, stress, lack of sleep. Soon, you're so busy managing the campsite that you forget to tend the fire. You stop putting new logs on. You stop protecting it from the wind and rain. Over time, that roaring fire naturally burns down to glowing embers. The embers are the deep love, the shared history, the friendship, the commitment. That is the foundation. It's still warm, it's still there. But the flame, the passion, the excitement, the desire is gone. The roommate phase is this ember stage. It's not dead, but it is dormant. Our goal is not to create a new fire from scratch, but to learn how to gently add kindling and oxygen to make those embers glow and eventually flame up again. The foundation, rebuilding emotional intimacy first. So where do we start? But you know what the number one mistake most couples make in this situation is? They try to force it. They plan a big fancy date night or a vacation, hoping it will magically solve everything. When it doesn't, they feel even more hopeless. That's because they're trying to add a giant log to cold embers. It just won't catch. You have to start with the kindling. Small, consistent acts of emotional intimacy. Passion is a byproduct of feeling seen, understood, and desired on an emotional level. Here are two powerful practices to start with. Practice A, the curiosity conversation. After years together, we assume we know everything about our partner. This assumption is a passion killer. We stop asking questions, and the relationship stagnates. I want you to reintroduce curiosity. For 1 week, I want you to ban the question. How was your day? It almost always gets a one-word answer. Fine. Instead, ask a better question. A curiosity question. Here are some examples you can use. What made you smile today? What was the most challenging part of your day? Tell me about something you learned or that surprised you today. These questions can't be answered with fine. They require thought. They open a window into your partner's inner world, a world that exists outside of your shared logistics. Doing this shows you are still interested in them as an individual, not just as your partner in running the household. It is one of the most powerful forms of foreplay. Practice B, the appreciation ritual. Dr. John Gottman, a leading relationship researcher, found that happy couples have a ratio of 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction. In the roommate phase, that ratio often flips. We get so focused on what's not getting done that we stop seeing what is. We need to intentionally retrain our brains to see the good. So, here is the ritual. Every single day for the next 2 weeks, You must find one specific thing to appreciate about your partner and say it out loud. Specificity is key, not "thanks for everything you do," but, when you got up early with the kids this morning so I could sleep in, that meant the world to me. Thank you. This practice of actively looking for the good and verbalizing it starves resentment and feeds connection. It tells your partner, "I see you and I value you." Reintroducing novelty, play, and desire. Once you've started building the fire with emotional kindling, it's time to add some oxygen. The oxygen for a relationship is novelty and play. The human brain is wired to respond to novelty with a hit of dopamine, the chemical of desire and motivation. Routine is the enemy of desire. Step C. Break one routine a week. You don't need to book a trip to Paris. I want you to start small. Look at your weekly routine and consciously break one part of it. Do you always eat on the couch? Set the table and light a candle on a Tuesday. Do you always watch the same show? Put on music and play a card game instead. Do you always take the same walk? Drive to a new neighborhood and explore. The activity itself is less important than the act of breaking the pattern. It sends a message to your brains. We are not on autopilot. We are choosing to create a new experience together. This novelty creates shared memories and sparks of excitement. Step D. Relearn how to flirt. Flirting is the language of desire. It's a skill that gets rusty when we stop practicing. It's about creating anticipation and reminding your partner that you see them as a romantic, desirable person, not just a co-parent. Start with non-physical flirting. Send a text during the day that says, "I was just thinking about our first date and it made me smile," or "Can't wait to see you tonight." Then, reintroduce non-sexual touch. As you walk by them in the kitchen, let your hand linger on their back for a few extra seconds. Sit closer to them on the couch. Touch their arm when they're talking. These small points of contact rebuild physical intimacy without the pressure of it having to lead to sex. They rebuild the bridge of physical affection, making the bigger leaps feel natural instead of forced. Moving from roommates back to lovers is not a one-time fix. It's a shift in mindset and habits. Pausa. It's about choosing to tend the fire, even when you're tired. It's about remembering that the person next to you is not just your partner in life's responsibilities, but also the person you chose to love, desire, and share a journey with. Start with the small things. The curiosity question, the specific appreciation, the 6-second kiss. These are the pieces of kindling that will gently warm those embers. Be patient. It took time for the fire to die down, and it will take time to bring it back. But with intention, consistency, and a shared desire for more, you can absolutely find that warmth, that light, and that passion again. You can build a fire that is stronger and more resilient than ever before. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If this video gave you a sense of hope or a practical idea you can use, please give it a like. It's a simple way to help the channel grow and reach other couples who might be feeling the same way. And I want to build a community of ideas here. In the comments below, share one small, simple way you and your partner break the routine. Your idea could be the perfect inspiration for someone else. For more guides on building a deep and lasting connection, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you won't miss our weekly videos. Remember, the greatest relationships are not the ones without problems, but the ones where both people make the choice to keep showing up and tending the fire. You can do this.